Johnny, you got a section coming up. So, Johnny, just jump right into it.
Yes, fam, and I'm excited to cover this because the other day, fam, it was May Day, May 1st. And so I'm just going to start with a few tweets here, and we are going to get started. So, fam. It was May Day a couple days ago.
Yep.
So here's some marches I saw on social media. So here's May Day in Paris is from Jake Hanrahan here, and someone above it says, "This could be us, but you're in the DSA."
Oh!
Look, I got a comment for it.
Slayed. Destroyed.
Look at that. That's really what we need.
Tear gas, throwing tear gas.
That's like war techniques.
They actually go toe-to-toe with the police these days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're not afraid.
Hey, Johnny, I bet you didn't know this. Maybe you did, but there was a letter written from some French generals that were writing a letter and saying if Macron doesn't get his crap together, there's going to be a real revolution and a real change of government.
Yep.
Like, literally, they warned him, like, you better stop with your shit, your globalist mentality, because it's going to come back and bite you in the ass.
So here's some more, some footage I saw from Paris. So, May Day was a global event and thing, so here's some footage from Paris.
Wow. They don't look happy.
One of the things I was reading as to why people are protesting is the lockdowns, but also the neoliberal policies of Macron, and also the immigration issue that they have. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of non-partisan or cross-partisan. They also defend the yellow vests, saying that the yellow vests are being persecuted. So it's interesting. It's like these generals were talking about how they're afraid of this invasion from these Islamic extremists, at the same time saying we need to protect the yellow vests, at the same time saying we don't want, we need to listen to the people, and then the people are protesting the lockdowns and the neoliberal policies. So it's like a mishmash of things.
Yeah. But it all leads back to the fact that they have all these wars and they have a migration problem now on their shores because everybody's coming over from Libya, Syria, whatnot and stuff.
Exactly.
So now they don't even feel comfortable who's coming in their country or what's going on, and it can be really twisted in a certain way. But that's what it's all about. Like, stop with the fucking war. France has backed a lot of these wars. Stop with the war, and then you won't have to worry about these issues.
So here's just some more general footage going on. Listening to music. It's a lot of the youth out there, French. This is a French publication on YouTube, so I found some stuff I haven't seen before. I didn't know that. Of course, there's French, media on the ground. So I was just kind of showing the ins and outs. There's more. This is a longer video from that footage we just saw, and I'm just showing a little bit here.
If you're a Paris or a French police officer, you got to be like thinking about quitting at this time. You're like, enough is enough with this shit. Like, they're out in the streets almost all the time. The Western media is trying to keep it silent and stuff like that. But when do you say that's it? I'm turning in my police outfit. I'm going to join the other side, because it's just getting to a point where it's like, hey, enough is enough.
They're more likely to do that than we are.
Arresting some people.
Vive la France.
So yeah,
it's France.
I'm just showing that a little bit in France. But fam, it's not a monolith.
No, it's not.
The French are not a monolith either.
Nope.
And I just want to show this because, I just want to show that there is, in any protest, and there's always going to be events where there's things are contrary to what's happening. So
exactly.
in Paris, the CGT trucks got attacked. And I'll explain what CGT are, but let me just show you this.
Wow.
C'est toi le facho.
Il y a une femme dedans, il y a une femme dedans, il y a une femme. Il y a une femme dedans, les
I know what that's like. Johnny, what's going on over here?
Okay, so the CGT is the General Confederation of Labor in France.
Mm-hmm.
They're the second largest in membership numbers. The National Trade Union Center in France, you know, the second largest. And according to the historian, I use Wikipedia, and according to the historian Dreyfus, the direction of CGT is slowly evolving since the 1990s, during which it cut all organic links with the French Communist Party in favor of a more moderate stance. The CGT is concentrating its attention, in particular, since the 1995 general strikes, to trade unionism in the private sector, right? So I looked up...
Kind of sounds like...
The current general secretary of the CGT is Philippe Martinez, and he seems to have a decent track record. Under Martinez's chairmanship in 2017, the CGT became the second most important union in the private sector after the French Democratic Confederation of Labor. However, it remained the largest union in small businesses and in the civil service, and therefore remained the largest organization among all wage earners. Under Martinez's direction, the CGT organized a 36-day strike in the first semester 2018 against the government's reform plans of the SNCF, which I'm not sure what that stands for. But a 36-day strike is a pretty crazy, right?
So why are the people attacking the trucks?
So one more thing before I give you my theory on that is the Martinez also, he supported Macron in 2017 against Le Pen, right?
Which, yeah.
She's
a right-winger.
Okay, so Le Pen was a total right-winger. So it'd be like if
Trump versus
union,
Biden.
Trump versus Biden, right?
Yeah.
Because Macron, would you say he's pretty neoliberal, right?
Oh, yeah,
very
he's
neoliberal.
terrible.
He's a neoliberal. He's a globalist.
So he said, I want Marine Le Pen to score as low as possible.
It's the same shit. Yeah.
And the Macron score as high as possible. It's a default vote, ring and clear. We say no voice for the FN, which is probably that right party, and we encourage citizens to go and vote. So
he made a deal with Macron and backed Macron.
He backed Macron, basically.
Instead of Mélenchon. But
right.
Yes.
So I just wanted to kind of go through all that. In France, there are various lefts in the government, so interesting that they attacked the CGT van. Maybe it was in the way. Maybe the van was in the way. Maybe the youth are just in that mob mentality.
Right.
Maybe there are infiltrators who know. Who knows? Maybe they're infiltrators.
Maybe they're pissed off that they sold out to the neoliberals.
Yeah.
We don't know. Yeah, that's crazy,
we don't know the
John.
intricacies.
I don't know. It's just, that just happened, and that was part of the May Day stuff.
There's a lot of things underneath that are going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, last note for Paris was that Mélenchon was there, and he was there at the protest. So.
Of course, he's there marching with people. Jean-Luc
Mélenchon.
Mélenchon.
And he said, I have a wish to make for the working class, the employees, the workers, the humble people who live only from their work and who hope to live with dignity for them and their children, that I come to see you in 2022 as president of the Republic. So he's going to be running.
Of course.
Nice.
Yeah.
So keep him in mind.
Yeah, let's keep him in mind. Let's go to France.
So that's what happened in France.
They have Fugazi elections over there, too. I heard they got proprietary software in a lot of their machines as well, Johnny.
Oh, I'm sure. If I could examine everyone's fucking software, that'd be amazing. So here's back here in Los Angeles, Abolition Andy covered the May Day protest over here in LA. You can see it's pretty big. There's a lot of working class there. There is a Build Back Better with unions past the PRO Act thing by some people here. It looks like they're not really part of. They're a little different than the rest of the organization. You know, again, not a monolith. And if the PRO Act was passed the way it was now, it's pretty good, right?
No.
It's okay. It doesn't reverse what prevents a wildcat strike.
It actually, it gives the executive branch power to stop that.
Yeah, it's giving the executive branch more power.
And it doesn't define an independent contractor properly. People like Ungi, who's doubling the tips today, or like not down for that. You know what I'm saying? It tries to push people away from the problem by making just a radical solution that might not work. You know what I'm saying? Just because you want to build unions, you want to build the right unions, and you don't want to just cut a gig economy, even though we really shouldn't be in a gig economy. It is the 21st century. We have to find a different way out of it. We have to come to the table, and we have to classify people properly. The PRO Act has way too many, what do you call those when you have little poison pills in it that really just can affect the whole situation.
It's just very general in its language.
It's not the final solution at all.
Right. So there was Abolition Andy there, and then Strawberry Fields actually caught some of the footage there.
Hey, Strawberry Fields, how are you doing out there? Hope you're doing well.
So that was going on over there. You know, so there was a lot of marches. Also in northern Italy, it looks like protesters in northern Italy clash with law enforcement.
I don't know about the northern.
That's the better
Italians
Italy. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
What do we got there? Where's that?
That was 3 years ago. So City Hall, May Day protesters. That's where they all convened. They all went to City Hall and marched to City Hall, basically.
Was that last year or this year?
This is this year. This was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So they all convened. There was a lot of people there at City Hall.
Oh, nice.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Is that Gavin? Yeah.
Look, they made Gavin like the serial killer.
Gavin McFucker.
Psycho.
A lot of people, American Psycho. They said he looks like the American Psycho.
I've seen some progressives saying, "Fine, recall Gavin unless he gives us health care." That's again. We said that from the beginning, guys. We said you need to try to get him to pass something. Now it's a little late. This is
huh. Okay. I thought this was.
Is this a Gavin? Recall Gavin?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think
okay,
so. Okay,
that's weird. That was on May 1st, too. That was on May 1st, too, so that's interesting.
They took advantage of it.
That's interesting. I know. The May Day parade that we saw also went to City Hall, but they also went to the police. What's it called? The police station right there.
Interesting intersection.
Yeah, no, that's. I didn't even know about that. Yeah. Okay. I know Seattle went off. There's just a bunch of Seattles.
Seattle. What up, Roar Media?
Fams, we need to occupy Bezos. All the Bezos buildings in Seattle. There's a lot.
Here's your Rupley one.
Where was this?
This is Portland.
Wow.
They said May Day protests turned violent in Portland, but it looks like they were burning some stuff.
We know that area. We've been in that area.
Yeah, we've been there. Burning a couple things. There's mailboxes actually.
There.
Or the mail.
They get a little cray-cray over there.
The mail. The mainstream media.
Wow, look at them burning that shit up there. That's crazy.
I'm not saying CNN buildings should be burned at all, but if they are collateral damage, that's unfortunate.
Here comes the police moving in.
I mean, the military is allowed to be like, well, that's just collateral damage when people get killed and bombed, right?
So the rest of the people.
The burning of the.
Oh, they declared it a riot. We gotta hear it here.
Whoa.
This assembly is considered a riot. All persons must leave the area near Southwest Main and Park immediately.
So interesting now with what Florida passed. Other states are passing similar bills. So now, if the police do declare something a riot,
That's it.
you're fucked.
You're done.
Yeah. But you know what? What also happened on May Day, fam? You know, Joe Biden
Aw.
made it
Uncle
Loyalty
Joe.
Day. He proclaimed Loyalty Day.
I saw Misty's tweet.
And she had middle fingers up, and she
Yeah,
says,
that's how I feel right
she
now.
shows a screenshot from the White House.
Joe Biden, Jr., President of the United States,
Junior.
Malarkey, do hereby proclaim that on May 1st, you know the thing, 2021, as Loyalty Day. This Loyalty Day, I call upon the people of the United States to join in this national observance, display the United States flag, and pledge allegiance to the republic for which it stands. That's
okay?
Loyalty Day.
Wait a minute. If a Republican said that, can you imagine?
Yeah.
How the left would react?
Yep.
He sounds like a neocon. He is a neocon. This is
That's
what I
a
mean,
nationalist
guys.
statement.
He is talking about professing your loyalty to the flag. Where, like, how is that different from anything Donald Trump has said about the flag? Please tell me how the fuck is that different? Because I'm having a really hard time here. I may not be that smart. Can somebody explain to me how that's different? I don't know.
No.
Well, it's apparently it's not a new thing, fam. We give Biden too much credit. He didn't think of it, you know?
Yeah.
It's not a new thing. But really quick, here's the proclamation, the official one. I just wanted to show the official one where Misty got that
Loyalty
screenshot
Day.
from. We see loyalty in the members of armed forces who selflessly serve. So May 1st is also and all those to acknowledge the American ethos of patriotism and sacrifices.
Oh, the sacrifices. You mean all the 2 million plus dead Iraqis?
Yeah. The Congress, by public law,
The
as amended,
Libyans?
has designated the first day of May each the year as Loyalty Day.
They're wasting time to even take a friggin' vote on that shit.
So no, it was voted on a long time ago. So
Wow.
So somebody said, here's a comment. Winnie Webb was like, Loyalty Day sounds like a holiday Pinochet would have dreamt up. And then someone said, so he turns an international day of celebration for workers into a fascistic holiday that would make Hitler blush. And I was like, damn. So I like those comments. And then I saw also someone said, it is creepy, but is not new. First proclaimed in 1958 at the height of the Red Scare and reaffirmed each year. Look it up. Will it become more than a proclamation that few notice? So shout out to Alice for making that comment, because I had no idea that this was a thing. You look up, here's my DuckDuckGo search, and you click on this PDF, and here it is. So here's the original one, joint resolution, July 18, 1958, resolved by the Senate and House of Representatives that the first day of May of each year is hereby designated as Loyalty Day, is to be set aside as a special day for the reaffirmation of loyalty to the United States of America and for the recognition of the heritage of American freedom.
So every year they've been just reaffirming it pretty much?
Yeah, every president. So Obama did it, Trump did it. We didn't notice it. It was weird.
No.
I had no idea. I had
It's a
no
proclamation, right?
Because we live in a simulation.
So
it's a resolution.
They made it basically a national holiday. And
Fuck off.
so I just wanted to show that.
Empire.
You know, the Congress approved it, and that was at the height of the Red Scare. So the LA Times actually told some truth when they wrote about it for Obama. Not to be a downer, but here's a reality check on Loyalty Day. So here's a screenshot. We find nothing to quibble with that aspirational view of the nation, but the history of Loyalty Day itself is not so admirable. First celebrated in 1921 as Americanization Day, it arose in response to the 1917 Bolshevik Revolution in Russia and growing radicalism in a swelling U.S. labor movement.
Right, exactly.
Bolshevik, yeah. Mm-hmm. Congress formally recognized Loyalty Day in 1958. You saw that when Cold War era anti-communist fervor led to a hunt for suspected subversives that cost countless leftists their jobs. The Red Scare, who was that? Wasn't that
McCarthy?
McCarthy.
Yeah. Yes.
McCarthy. That's why they
the
were
FBI director, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Exactly. Prompted prosecutions for political beliefs, led governments to require employees and job seekers to take loyalty oaths, and propelled inquisitions by the House Un-American Activities Committee. There's no coincidence that Loyalty Day falls on May 1st, or May Day, a celebration of workers around the industrialized world, observed on the anniversary of the 1886 Haymarket Square incident in Chicago, when 4 people were executed on the strength of murky evidence that they killed 8 people, 7 of them police officers during a labor rally for the 8-hour workday.
So I just want to say it's no coincidence, because if you look at the study of communism or the study of socialism, right, you look at what it means. It's all about empowering workers. Like that's the base of it is empowering workers. Yeah. What Fred Hampton started preaching was workers of the world, international proletariat class against the empire need to unite. That's the whole basis between of specifically Marxist-Leninism. Like, it's about the workers. And so when you had neo-McCarthyism at that time, the labor movement was also attacked. And the leftists, any leftist, by the way, or anybody that didn't even profess communism, right? We're talking about people who were artists who spoke against the empire and against the rapid industrialization. You have Charlie Chaplin, and a lot of his silent films, if you view them, were very, very anti-imperialist and anti the technology of the day, not because they didn't want to progress, but because they saw the incoming of that just crushing the workers. And that is particularly why this is telling, because when you go and you become a citizen, and I'll repeat this, when you become a citizen of the United States, I had to pledge to not follow anything to do with communism.
Yes.
And they can take
you're not affiliated with the Communist Party.
Away.
Yeah.
You cannot be affiliated with the Communist Party.
I ask you, are you affiliated in any way with the Communist Party?
And I think we have to go back, and another movie I'm thinking about is Good Night and Good Luck. But Edward R. Murrow and the fights he had against the McCarthyites, and McCarthy, the congressman, I think it was a junior congressman at the time. It's a really telling story. Go ahead, Johnny. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
So just lastly, I just want to show a little bit of history of May Day. The L.A. Times article spoke a little bit about it, but the Times actually spoke a little truth about it too back then. So basically, they're like, oh, what is it? Celebrations on May 1 have long had two seemingly contradictory meanings. On one hand, May Day is known for maypoles, flowers, and welcoming the spring. On the other hand, it's a day of worker solidarity and protest. The U.S. observes its official Labor Day in September. Many countries still will celebrate Labor Day on Monday. This is an old article. So how did it happen? So here they say Time summed it up in 1938. Basically, May 1st, 1886 labor action wasn't just any strike. It was part of what became known as the Haymarket Affair. On May 1st of that year, Chicago, along with other cities, was the site of a major union demonstration in support of the 8-hour workday. The Chicago protests were meant to be part of several days of action. On May 3rd, a strike at the McCormick Reaper plant in the city turned violent. The next day, a peaceful meeting at the Haymarket Square became even more so. So here's how they summed it up. I'm going to the actual link here, and it's their archives. You know, maybe Times in 1938 wasn't so bad, fam, because they tell the story here.
No, they weren't as bad before.
Yeah.
So right here, it's titled Rebel. A few minutes after 10 o'clock on the night of May 4th, 1886, the storm began to blow up in Chicago. As the first drops of rain fell, a crowd in Haymarket Square in the parking house district began to break up. At 8 o'clock, there had been 3,000 persons on hand, listened to anarchists denounce the brutality of the police and demand the 8-hour day. Again, this is 1886, 8-hour day. But by 10, there were only a few hundred. The mayor, who had waited around in expectation of trouble, went home and went to bed. The last speaker was finishing his talk when a delegation of 180 policemen marched from the station a block away to break up what remained of the meeting. They stopped a short distance from the speaker's wagon. As the captain ordered the meeting to disperse and the speaker cried out that it was a peaceable gathering, a bomb exploded in the police ranks and wounded 67 policemen, of whom 7 died. The police opened fire, killing several men and women and wounding 200, and the Haymarket tragedy became a part of U.S. history. It broke the careers of most of the men who had anything to do with it. 8 anarchists were tried for murder, and although it was never determined who threw the bomb, 4 were hanged. 3 got life, and 1 committed suicide. In 1893, the 3 who got life were pardoned by the pale, homely, contradictory John Peter Geld, governor of Illinois, prison reformer, idealist lawyer, wealthy real estate operator, and builder of one of Chicago's first skyscrapers. So they kind of go into what happened to the other 3 who were, who got pardoned. He pardoned them. So
post-death, right?
Yeah, this is in 19. They wrote this in 1938. So, last week, Alcott's story was told in a 496 volume, which gave the governor's reasons for his act, showed its consequences. not only in his career, but in the history of the populist movement. The irony of Algood's life was that he was not a rebel until his enemies made him one. Then he became one of the most effective dissenters in the country. Born in Germany of peasant stock in 1847, he was brought up to the U.S. when he was 3 months old, a circumstance that kept him from being the populist candidate for president. With his health permanently weakened by fever contracted as a Union soldier, he wandered to the West, became a lawyer, and settled in Chicago in 1875. He married a childhood sweetheart, written a liberal study of prison reform, and served as a judge when he won the governorship. For Algood, the essential factor about the Haymarket case was that the anarchists had not had a fair trial. Jurors had frankly admitted prejudice, and the record showed appalling contradictions. But when Algood said so in an 18,000-word pardon, he was damned as a murderer, a communist, a demagogue, a foreigner, an anarchist, a thief, a liar, a madman, a knave, a fool, a bomb thrower, a narrow, and a coward. Never in the U.S. history, says author Bernard, had a man been assaulted in the press so fiercely and irrationally. The vituperation went on for months, increasingly hysterical, until Algood was all but broken by it. The usual report has been that Algood never recovered from this verbal bombardment. Barnard's account, however, is that after being dazed and bewildered, the governor sadly began to fight with the savagery of a man who has nothing more to lose. When Cleveland, this is President Cleveland at the time, sent federal troops to Chicago during the Pullman strike of 1894, going over Algood's head, the governor had taken more than he could stand. He became a cool and personal, relentless political strategist, controlling the Democratic Party convention in 1896, maneuvering so skillfully that his enemies were thrown into panic. And after Bryan's defeat, when the populace were exhausted and demoralized, he was almost the only leader who kept going, launching another attack on monopoly vested interest in Wall Street, and as if unaware that his side had been licked. When he died in 1902, newspapers that had attacked him begrudgingly given him his due. So basically, I just brought that up because of this part, because he was somebody that was fighting monopolies, vested interests in Wall Street, and this is in fucking 1896, and we're still dealing with this shit, basically.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to bring it up, and I got lost last night in all these stories.
Johnny Rabbit Hole.
I started to look up President Cleveland, and on the Wikipedia, they say, oh, he was for civil liberties. He's very liberal. But then, like, why did he do that Pullman strike thing, right?
To crush the. Because that's the whole thing too, as well, is like they always wanted to control labor in this country, and I think the move against to be anti-communist was not really about the Red Scare. It's about labor. It's about labor. Crushing labor and workers, whatnot, and that's what it's all about. Because they always want to make sure that they're your daddy, and not the people be their own daddy.
Exactly. They don't want people to unite as workers or realize that without the workers, this country is nothing, really. And so they have to keep a hold of you. And this is why the Democratic Party is essential. The establishment, too, like the Republic, both of them are essential in co-opting workers' movement, saying they back unions, saying they support unions. Leadership does not mean that they back the actual workers on the ground.
And showing that the media playing their games in the late 1800s, still playing their games now. It's the same playbook, ladies and gentlemen. We can stop this. We can break this and stuff like that. We can change this if we want. We know what they're going to do because they're doing the same thing they were doing 200
Except
plus
it's
years
much
ago.
faster because of the technology.
The technology. That's it.
Yeah, and I'm reading all this stuff, and I'm like, history's repeating itself.
So
really quick, I'm just showing everybody where you can find the proclamation, right? uscode.house.gov. That is the resource. I show the raw resource so you can know the United States Code. This is the code of law. This is the law. This is the law, general and permanent laws of the United States, the law of the land, right? You can go here and go through it all. So basically, it's over here. It's Title 36, Patriotic and National Observances, Ceremonies and Organizations. Chapter 1, Patriotic and National Observances. And then you find it over here, Loyalty Day, 115. It's still as law.
It's a loyalty day, guys.
May 1st is Loyalty Day. Purpose, Loyalty Day is a special day for the reaffirmation of loyalty to the United States.
They want to see you pledge your allegiance.
And then C, part of the law, proclamation. The president is requested to issue a proclamation calling on U.S. officials to display the flag on all government buildings, and then inviting people of the U.S. to observe Loyalty Day with appropriate ceremonies in schools and other suitable places.
I mean, that could be Donald Trump doing the same thing. I mean, it's just there's no.
He's a nationalist.
They've been doing it since Eisenhower. So,
Again, there's no difference.
Cryptic nationalism.
I really wanted to bring all this up because, I did not know about May Day they never taught me May Day back in high school.
Of course they didn't.
In university, I took, I didn't take any history classes. I took AP history in high school. But, if Joe Biden was really for the working class, to the neoliberals, like, that's what they're saying, right? That's what they try. He's not so bad. They're trying to make excuses for him. He would
Get rid of it.
He would get rid of this proclamation, or he wouldn't do the proclamation.
Yeah.
A true leftist will not do this proclamation, even though it's small, right? Even though it's a resolution, even though it's like a thing. For me, even though it's a simple resolution, it's the propaganda and normalization
And the
of
history
Loyalty
behind it.
Day
Oh, yeah.
that is important to combat. They made a federal holiday out of it, instructing schools to make a big deal about it. This is empire education.
Right.
This is a prime example of empire education. I had
This is why
no
people-
idea about
This
May
is
Day.
why some people are not against defunding public school education. Like, I'm not for that. I'm saying we should have it. But at the same time, this is why people are taking their kids out of school, too.
Yeah.
Not just people on the right, but people on the left, because they're like, wait a minute, why are they teaching my kids? If I had kids, I would have sent them to school. What are they getting taught here? What exactly are they getting taught?
I know. How about all these people who talk about what's the difference between nationalism and racism, right? All that time. Been saying that for so long under Donald Trump. He's a nationalist. Nationalists are racist. So is Narendra Modi. So are all these people and
Okay,
stuff.
well,
Here's Joe
Joe
Biden
Biden.
putting the same shit out there. I mean, hello.
And Obama did it too.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I guess we're, it's a different type of racism.
No,
I
just
get.
one uses
I
better
don't
words than the
know.
other.
It's
One's more covert than the other. That's
wow.
it.
Johnny, what else we got on May
I
Day?
just want to say that, until a true leftist gets into office, the working class needs to step up and hold general strikes like they did back then.
Until we get a representation that we should get, which isn't going to happen in the system we have, you have to then first demand it.
Yeah.
Power concedes nothing without demand. You have to demand that. Look at these people. They were out on the streets fighting for what? An 8-hour day. People here
They
are
got
out
it.
in the streets for symbolic gestures most of the time.
Yeah.
We need to change that. We need to be out in the streets for economic reasons that are impacting the working class
Damn.
instead of getting lost in, oh my God, this person wore a pussy hat. This person said something racist. This person, let's get out in the streets for the economic abuses.
No, fam. First we got to do is we got to handle racism first. Once we fix racism, then we can fix economic issues.
It's all
That
part
needs to
of
be
this.
done.
It's all intertwined, you guys. It's
Oh,
all
okay.
intertwined.
Yeah, so, hundreds of thousands of people did not go to work for days.
Yep.
For days, but people can't do that anymore.
In the 1800s, when you're like you ain't getting water.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
right?
You were really restricted back then. We don't go to work for some days. We got to cancel our
People won't do
Netflix,
it
maybe,
anymore,
or we
I
can't
just want
order
to go
out
back
as much.
to normal.
Yeah,
Build
please.
back better.
Build back better.
And so, fam, I think the best way is for new ideas. I don't know. Personally, I want to change the 8-hour workday.
Yeah.
What if
6-hour
I think
workday.
8 hours is too much.
Yeah.
We need a 6-hour workday.
Damn.
And only 4
4
days
times
of work.
a week.
Yeah.
Yes. They have that
Max.
in somewhere. I forget where. And then
And paid vacation.
They have siesta
and
in
help out.
Spain.
You know what I'm saying? If the government hands out all this money for war, why can't they hand out all this money to help laborers?
they
Why
got
not?
money for war, but they can't feed the poor.
It's terrible.
Exactly. And a livable wage.
In a livable wage.
Livable
Here's the thing,
wage.
Johnny. We'll get none of that until we get election integrity. But once we get election integrity,
That's why I'm hard on election
baby.
And we won't get
integrity.
election
That's why
integrity
I'm hard on it.
because we don't have fucking free media that
Yeah.
does the right thing. We have intelligence agencies. We don't have a fair system. So we're not going to get that either unless we're out in the streets fighting
And
for
they
it.
censor the fucking people who are covering the shit.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And they
then
prop up the
they
people who are
espouse
demonizing
lies.
it.
They espouse lies
Yes,
on the
they
mainstream media.
espouse a lot of lies.
Literally lies.
Lies. It's all lies. Bring in the laser. Okay, so we're wrapping this up
Seize
with the
the funds.
matching them. We good on this subject, guys?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, it
all
was
right.
great,
Thank you, Johnny. Great
section.
subject. I mean, yeah, damn. Fucking going to talk about Grover Cleveland. I love it. 1800s. Wow. Great section, Johnny.
Same fights, guys.